Are you afraid of what happens the second the lights go out for good? Well, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mrbeast, doesn't have time to wonder. Over the past 5 years, he's stared death in the face 8 separate times, all in the name of a thumbnail that makes you tap. By the end of today's story, you'll know why he now sleeps inside a fortress on wheels, and why the only thing more dangerous than his stunts might be the lawsuits lining up outside the gate. Stick around, because the last threat might be the only one he can't buy his way out of. But before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe. It's free, and you always have the option to unsubscribe. Number 1. 50 hours 6 feet under. Jimmy once promised his audience he'd spend 50 hours buried alive. Simple idea. Plexiglass coffin, breathing tube, cameras at every angle, managers with shovels on standby. Everything looked airtight, until Carl and Chris decided airtight sounded boring. They pounded the soil with a sledgehammer, then lit fireworks inches above the air vent. Acrid smoke drifted down the only straw keeping Jimmy conscious. Inside, he coughed, twisted to fix a foot cam, and felt his shoulders lock in a pretzel he couldn't reverse. 2 seconds or start digging, right now! He gasped, convinced positional asphyxia was next. Doctors later calculated that if the vent had clogged just 30 seconds longer, oxygen levels would have plunged below safe limits. It was the first time a $1 million production came within one cough of becoming a crime scene. But if smoke almost claimed him underground, the next close call sliced through the air. Number 2. The ricochet that nearly blinded him. On an Australian soundstage, Mrbeast teamed with the trio from How Ridiculous for a supersized balloon pop race. The rules were simple. Hurl throwing knives until your row of inflatable beach balls explodes. Jimmy hurled first. The knife punched through rubber, then boomeranged straight back, edge first. Viewers saw the blade kiss his forehead, drawing a crimson line across skin that earns millions a month. 1 centimeter lower, and the richest eyes on YouTube would have gone dark forever. The cut looked minor. The lesson was not. Crew replaced steel with plastic darts mid-shoot. But the footage lives on as a masterclass in how physics doesn't care about click-through rate. Knives bounce, sure, but sunlight bakes, especially when you trap it in a plastic bubble floating miles offshore. Number 3. Each stroke in a floating bubble. Let's win a game of Fortnite in the middle of the ocean. That sentence cost Jimmy almost everything. He crawled inside a transparent zorbing sphere tethered to a chase boat, balanced a gaming laptop on his knees, and waited for the battle bus. Within minutes, the tropic sun turned the ball into a greenhouse. Temperatures spiked past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. GoPro footage shows sweat raining off his chin onto scalding acrylic. Mid-match, his vision blurred, words slurred, and the laptop shut itself down from thermal overload. Crew yanked the tether, cranked the hatch, and poured bottled water over his head while his pulse hammered past 180. Doctors later said another 10 minutes could have triggered organ failure. The victory royale never came, but a new respect for heat certainly did. After nearly boiling alive, Jimmy tried the opposite extreme, sub-zero misery that freezes batteries and maybe bones. Number 4. 24 hours in an ice house. Imagine an igloo big enough for a king-size bed and cold enough to bite the metal off your phone. That was Jimmy's next headline. Live inside a house carved from 50 tons of ice for a full day. No jacket, no heater, no mercy. The toilet seat alone felt like dry ice on bare skin. By hour 12, his hands shook so violently he couldn't unscrew a bottle. Even hardened production cameras died, their lithium packs surrendering to minus 10 degrees Celsius air. Hypothermia creeps. You don't feel fingers go numb until they're already dead. Viewers watched him pace in circles to keep blood moving, eyes pink from sleepless shivers. When the timer finally hit 0, he sprinted to a hot tub, skinned the shade of raw salmon. Outside experts later warned that 2 more hours could have meant frostbite and surgical amputation. Jimmy's verdict? Never again. Those 4 challenges flirted with physical danger. The next one lived inside him, fought back from the day he turned 15, and taught him what pain really costs. Number 5. Crohn's, the invisible blade. Before the yachts and jet fuel budgets, Jimmy was a scrawny high school sophomore who suddenly dropped 50 pounds in 3 months. Bathrooms became prison cells, 20 visits a day, ribs visible under t-shirts. Doctors finally named the enemy, Crohn's disease. His gut was attacking itself. Food raced through without mercy. Baseball scholarships evaporated overnight. Remicade infusions keep him functional today, but at a price. An immune system dialed to 0. 6 bouts of COVID. Shingles at 25. Colds that linger for weeks. Each trip could end a filming schedule or a life. Yet he works through flare-ups because, as he says, I just live life on hard mode. Crohn's didn't kill Mrbeast, but it murdered the quiet kid who once dreamed of the minor leagues, and birthed the obsessive who uploads until cameras crack. Chronic pain builds tolerance, but nothing prepares you for a stranger with a crowbar and your home address. Number 6. The robbery that almost erased $2 million. Back when Mrbeast lived in a $700 a month duplex, fame felt distant until he came home to a splintered door, TV gone, designer hoodies gone. Worst of all, his work laptop was missing, and taped to its lid was a handwritten line, Bitcoin private key. At the time, that key unlocked roughly $2 million, every cent he had. Miraculously, the thief skipped the sticky note and settled for the television. Jimmy moved the crypto within hours, then moved homes entirely. Today, he keeps 24/7 guards, motion sensors, and vault-grade safes not for the money, but for the peace of mind he hasn't truly felt since. Locks can be replaced. Privacy? Not so much, especially when the internet plots your every grocery run in real time. Number 7. The Stalker Discord. It started with an innocent selfie in Target's toothbrush aisle. Minutes later, a kid sprinted through the automatic doors. Phone raised. "It's real!" he shouted. "The Discord said you'd be here." That server, Jimmy learned, scrapes every tag, tweet, and fan photo, triangulating his location within minutes. With 200+ users updating pins, any stranger can appear at arm's length. One day, a superfan might be something worse, Jimmy confessed. Since that revelation, he travels in a convoy, ex-Secret Service-led car, bulletproof SUV whose windows are 5 inches thick, and staff trained to detect tails. The irony? He built a global brand on extreme transparency. Now survival depends on staying hidden. Physical threats are obvious. Legal ones creep slower, but they cut just as deep. And 2025 may be the year the courtroom replaces the coffin. Number 8. The lawsuits that can kill the kingdom. Mrbeast Burger versus virtual dining concepts. After Jimmy blasted inedible ghost kitchen burgers, VDC fired back with a $100 million countersuit, accusing him of trashing the brand he created. Trials begin this fall. Potential damages could swallow an entire year of video budgets. Beast Games class action. 5 anonymous contestants allege unsafe sets, withheld meals, and even sexual harassment during Amazon's $5 million reality show. If certified, hundreds of participants could join, and sponsors may flee. Jimmy calls the claims wildly exaggerated, but discovery is brutal, and NDAs can't hide medical records. Mexico's Heritage Probe. Filming inside restricted Mayan ruins drew condemnation from archaeologists and a formal review from Mexico's Culture Ministry. Sanctions could include 6-figure fines and a ban on future shoots. Bad news for a channel addicted to grand locations. Rumors suggest that private insurers have already doubled the premiums on any stunt involving heights, water, or explosives. Whether or not the claims hold, court battles drain time, cash, and goodwill. Life support tubes no algorithm can replace. 8 brushes with oblivion, some explosive, others microscopic. All orbit one question. How far would you go for a moment of digital immortality? Jimmy Donaldson keeps upping the answer, betting his body, his fortune, and now his legal future that the audience will stay for the finale. So which risk felt craziest to you? The coffin smoke, the ricocheting knives, or the lawsuits that lurk like silent snipers? Let me know below, because next week, we're diving into the one Mrbeast experiment YouTube still refuses to monetize. And it might be the stunt that finally breaks him. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the scariest cliff isn't the one you jump off, it's the one you build yourself.